Hello, my little darlings. I am fresh back from Poland. I will say fresh, I am very much sporting a dirty, dirty cold. But I want to talk to you about burnout. I've talked about burnout before, but I feel like right now is definitely where we're all going to feel it. One, the weather outside is just not weathering, darlings. We is that a term? It is awful out there. There is rain. There is just constant grayness if you're here in the UK. Most of us are coming out of our peak season if we're a wedding photographer. And we've gone through that horrible time of August, September, where there wasn't much portrait work. Typically, I know some of you have been getting some work. I know I did. But because people have been on holiday and the cost of living has gone up again and it stops people spending. I literally have just finished London Fashion Week. I did 2 campaigns outside of London Fashion Week. Then I did 2 band covers. Then I shot a whole series of portraits for some people. Then I flew to Poland, had a great time. Let's have a look. But I decided that I needed at least one day off to recharge. Now, I know I'm in charge of my own diary, and you are too, and I know you are, that we can go and have our own diary and live our life how we want to. But we're self-employed, and let's be honest, that's not really a thing, is it? You and I know that. We know that we are a slave to our work. We are getting up and we are constantly striving to make ends meet. I don't care how many bloody branding help tutorial books, whatever you download, be it my book that you can get here on Amazon, nice plug there, I think you'll agree, or maybe you listen to my podcast, The Loud Lens, whatever it is. I know that we're all slugging and slogging to get our bills paid. But I'm going to tell you now, as someone who's actually feeling quite ill, you need to take time off in order to continue working. And you might think, what the hell? That's ass about face, Khandie. Listen to when I tell you this. You will head to burnout. I've covered this in other videos. I've covered it in my podcast. But I was literally in the Facebook group chatting to some people and they're saying, I need a break. I need a break. I can't. Every time, everything on the news is bad news. Everything is constant bad news. And I don't like it, Khandie. And I'm really worried. And I said, well, the best thing you can do is remember why you like taking photos. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, remember why you like taking photos. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, you chose this as a career. There must have been a defining moment that made you go, do you know what? This is what I want. This is what I want to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done it. So go back to recapturing that moment and that'll give you the passion to keep going. And then goes, well, how do I do that? Now, I've spoken about this with a couple of people I mentor because I do some mentoring. If you're interested, drop me a message. But one of the top tips I say is shoot for you, not for the algorithm. The algorithm will convince you to keep creating for it because somehow you're going to hit virality and you're going to have all your answers to song and prayers. That makes no sense, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? It doesn't. We are dopamine chasing in the worst possible way because guess what? The algorithm doesn't want to favor us. It wants us to keep trying to favor us so that we somehow keep buying into it, because if we don't keep buying into it, we are ultimately not the client for it. So it wants us to keep feeding it. We are then spending so much time dopamine chasing, we have literally forgotten why we took photos. We are heading to burnout. Burnout is not sexy for anything. It is not fun, but it is something that's rapidly happening amongst creatives, especially every time people talk about money and these bills go up. We're aware burnout exists and yet no one really wants to talk about it. I have spoken about it. I talk about it so much to people. Burnout is a legitimate thing that you need to be concerned about, because if it comes to the point where you are, I can't do this anymore, how are you going to earn your money, honey? How are you going to pay your bills? So you need to do the best thing for that, and that's regaining some work-life balance and understanding that you literally cannot afford to not take time out to rediscover why you like photography. I went to Poland. I took a day out. I went to Toruń, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's got this amazing church there. In fact, I told a story on my Instagram. Go check it out. Was it on my Instagram or was it on my TikTok? It might have been on my TikTok. I'll tell you it here now. The Archbishop, when he was having this church, St. Jacob's, I believe it was called, built, he decided not to pay the builders. And so they left a little 14th century FU on the ceiling. It was only discovered 8 years ago. I guess it's like a Shrek, but it made me laugh quite a lot. But I went around and I took photos, not for some algorithm, although I did post a reel about it. You know, here I am doing my street photography. I posted for me. In fact, no, I only posted that to share that I was doing. In fact, I created photos that I just liked. I had no intent of sharing them. They're not going to go on my grid. They literally sit in my reels. And you might notice about my Instagram, my reels very rarely show up on my main grid. I like to keep them separate because I've got that 3 thing I like. I don't think that's ever going to change. It probably should, but it won't for now anyway. And I started shooting for myself. I was so keen that I just needed to enjoy it. There was no client expectation. There was no one breathing down my neck saying, oh, we need to get this shot, this angle. There was no one telling me what to do with my images. There was no one telling me jack hit. I was in charge of it and I got to enjoy taking photos again. For me, walking around the town of Turin, I've probably said that wrong, so by all means tell me how to spell it correctly, because I tried to Google it and I asked my friends who are Polish and my partner, and they all like told me, and my mouth just does not want to make those sounds. I have a very lazy British mouth. Honestly, I can't even roll my R's. And so I wonder I enjoyed it. I took pictures of other photography studios that are there, because one thing I've noticed about Poland is they really love their photography studios. Like, they are beautiful. So I've started documenting them a little bit when I'm going around. It's become like a little hobby of mine. But it was beautiful. I got to walk around. Are they groundbreaking? Are they fuck? Do they make me happy? Yeah, because I just got to enjoy. I didn't have to care about the settings. Oh my God, does this fit my algorithmic aesthetic? Fuck off, does it? No one cares. Because if you don't want burnout, you need to create for yourself. There is so much fun and enjoyment about just creating for yourself. And when you eventually go back then to your work, you're creating work with an open mind a little bit more. You've filled the tank up essentially, so you can go back and do this job. So what if you're tired of doing headshots, but that's one of your biggest bread and butter winners, and you haven't got the time yet to change that over? Go off and photograph some pictures that are anything but macro, dog crap, rubbish. Something that I actually do. If you follow my Instagram, I do photograph that. And I wrote about dog crap in my book, available on Amazon. Yay. But anyway, go and find something that is not in any way related to what you do and photograph it because you are going to photograph it. Set yourself that challenge to go photograph it and just see what happens. And then if you don't like them, delete them. But at least you're photographing for no one else but yourself. Burnout is such a prevalent thing. And as the cost of living goes up, as the news just becomes darker and darker by the day, because politicians are idiots, we are absolutely in a darker time. And I don't think that's unjustified for me to say. We are hearing about how AI is coming after our jobs. It's not. It's only coming after the job if you're shit at your job, right? Go and create. Go and have some time out, and for fuck's sake, rebalance yourself. I know I'm swearing quite a lot in this. I'm quite ill, as you can probably hear from my voice, although I'm going to run this through a clean-up voice thing to try and get it out so you can understand it. But I need you to take really good care of yourself, especially just the fact that when winter hits, we naturally seem to be lower in mood. There is a science behind it. Someone did tell me it while I was doing research for this, but honestly, it happens. So for me, I need to tell you, take some time out, because if you don't, you won't be able to again. You will burn out and put all your camera equipment on eBay. You'll be one of these people who goes, I've quit photography and got rid of it. Don't dopamine chase off an algorithm that doesn't give a crap who you are. Don't dopamine chase off people who don't ever book from you. Create for yourself, post it if you want to, and then start photographing for the clients that you want, not the followers on Instagram. I personally have given up chasing. I was like, I need to get to 10,000. I didn't even get to 5,000 yet. And yet here I am with two top selling books, a rapidly massive following on my other projects. I don't know, I had a brain fart. I forgot what else I do. I am doing well. I mean, not health-wise right now. That would be, you can't have it all. I also seem to suddenly have some eyebrows again because I bleached them and thought it was hilarious and I look like a spoon. But yeah, you are going to find that if you don't take some breaths and some breaks, the irony of me saying breaths after I talk so fast, you will burn out and not want to ever create. You'll chuck everything on eBay or wherever it is vintage and just say, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you'll have regrets. And I'm talking at this from I'm literally taking a friend with me this weekend to go recapture photography because she got rid of all her stuff online and just slung it and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And now a couple of years later, she's coming back and she feels like, oh, I should have not done that. Don't live with regret. Live with prevention. Just stop it now. Just go and have that time out. Chill, relax. This would be a good time to tell you to subscribe to my channel and follow my podcast and Instagram, wouldn't it? Because I talk a lot about this shit. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to disappear now because I need to take some Lemsips. But also, can I just say, I finally got one of these. And if you look at the shorts, I'll show you the live unboxing of this that I did. I am so excited. Can you guess what color I got? Even though it's a blind box, it couldn't have been any more appropriate. Thank you to my local camera shop skiers for making sure I got one of these. You freaking legends. If you have any episodes that you want me to cover, feel free to drop them into the comments below. I want to talk about it. What are your hobbies that you do that maybe not street photography like me? Maybe there's something else you do to unwind. I'd be so keen to know what other people's hobbies are, be it knitting, be it pigeon fancying, only because I met a pigeon fancy the other day and I thought it was really cute. Be it by the way, side note, why do people hate pigeons? I'm going to link a video here by a girl called Bailey Sarian that you might open your eyes about pigeons.